What's up, Gemini? You could tell me right now, in your mental spaces, your heart is wide open for someone specific. You could also be in a place where you feel like you're getting ready to let your guard down. And letting your guard down is a big leap of faith into the unknown. Like, you know that at this point in your life, like, life is art. Like, every experience, whether a good or high vibrational or low vibrational experience, is carrying you to your end destination. That's something you can tell me. In the physical, you feel like everything that is happening at the moment, you could tell me it's a bit of a tumultuous moment right now too. Like a lot of emotional things are calling your attention at the moment. But again, you could tell me that right now you're in a space, and this is for my divine feminines, you're in a space of allowing life to just be what it is. You could tell me you're a creative too, like you could sing, write, or dance, or do something along those creative, like entertainment type of vibes. And that's what you've been focusing on more so than anything. But you could tell me that what's the current moment with connections and relationships, that is kind of what's fueling your art. So for my divine masculines, you could tell me that right now you met someone who is kind of like changing how you view things at the moment, right? And you just don't feel very strong. You don't feel strong enough for this individual. You know that you're spiritually connected to them. You know that you love them, and you don't necessarily want to give up on the connection, but you are also in a space where, you're more so focused on, uh, more so focused on like your karmic patterns in your life right now, the divine masculine. You could tell me that you're more so wanting to stay more comfortable where you are as opposed to elevate into this divine feminine's energy, right? So you could tell me at the moment that you are allowing yourself to feel calm, like no matter what, because you know that when you meet your soulmate, you will feel calm and not anxiety and no agitation. It would be, not so much of what you're feeling right now, so much resistance, right? So let's clarify the situation at hand. Let's see. Right. So right now you could tell me that the divine masculine in your life, or the masculine person that you're going towards divine feminines, you could tell me that it's been in a place of stagnation. I got the Four of Swords reversed, the Seven of Swords, and the Strength reverse. You could tell me with the Emperor in reverse on the bottom of the deck, Ten of Cups reverse. You could tell me that right now you perceive your person to be like either sneaky or planning something. You don't know which one, but either way, you could tell me that your strength is waning, that you don't want to keep on being in this like stagnated position with the Four of Swords reverse. You want to move out of that energy, especially mentally. Especially the energy of not knowing whether or not you need to protect yourself from this person. You could tell me that this person reminds you a lot of your past energies and relationships in the past and people that you have given your heart to, with the Deceit card being in reverse and the action right underneath of it. With the Door to Romance in reverse, you could feel like, that this person could be, you could either A, feel like this person is being manipulative with love, knowing that you love them, knowing that you want them. They could be, being deceptive and not necessarily want you, that they could have other options. You could feel like that about this masculine. Whereas the masculine feels mentally trapped. This masculine definitely probably sees you as a viable option and someone that they could be with, someone that they could be with long term, and even spirit might be involved in this. You could tell me too that you are having an influence on your partner to where they want to elevate as well. Exactly. The High Priestess is here. So you could tell me too, like I said, that you are having you might not know it, but you are having a very heavy spiritual influence on this person when it comes to this connection. Let's go ahead and get the advice for my Geminis. The advice is the Queen of Swords. I would say detach. Go ahead, pull to yourself, get to yourself before taking a new step or taking a new venture or going in a new direction with a person. Yeah, I mean, evaluate if it's going to be a negative connection or not. Evaluate if this is something that is completion. This is, the person that you want to be with full term. Their stance. Take their stance and evaluate it and see if it's the truth or if they're moving from an unhealed place. So yes, get into the Queen of Swords energy, which is you. That is you. Like, get solo, get by yourself, evaluate your mental spaces. What I'm gonna tell you is this. This is something I always tell my friends and family, right? Isolation, and not even just friends and family, chosen ones, because that's what this feels like too. You could tell me that. But anyway, right? Getting alone and getting into isolation is like washing your laundry at home. When you wash your laundry at the laundromat where everybody else is washing their laundry as well, you could hear a quarter spinning around in the washing machine, but not even know that it's in your washer. You understand? When you wash laundry at home, you're able to hear that quarter, whether you all the way up in the attic or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, isolate yourself at this moment to really evaluate yourself to see if this is something that you want. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you're going to tell me you're already doing. Let's get confirmation for the advice. Exactly. No strings attached. You don't want to ever feel like you're giving more than what you're receiving. You know what I mean? It should be equal give and take. With this in the upright, it would be an equal give and take. You would feel like you're giving as much energy as you're receiving. And if you feel like it's depleted in some kind of way, make that known to this person and pull back and allow them to take the next step. What's the advice from my divine masculine? That this is your soulmate. This is a partnership. This is a connection that you need to go towards. Divine masculines. What's the advice for my divine masculines? Wow. In them cycles that you keep staying connected to. Stuff that you're giving attention to is no longer something that you need to stay connected to if you want to take this next step in your elevation. Something that you're giving a lot of attention to. And it could be a feminine fire sign woman. It could very well be. But you could, yeah, this is not... The advice for my divine masculines would be that there are things coming to an end. You know what I mean? This partnership and connection that's at question right now, if this resonates with you, this is something that's elevating you on the spiritual side of you. So if you're ready for a spiritual elevation, a spiritual ascension, then that's the way to go. But if you're more so ready to stay in your lesson and you feel like there's more to learn from the connection that you're currently dealing in, then definitely take that. But the very bottom of the deck says the Fool, which means that the best thing to do would be to take a leap of faith and to move forward. Love you. Later, Gemini. Hey, Libra. What's going on? This is a reading. Just a little energy check-in real quick. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. Right now, you could tell me that in the mental spaces, you are contemplating walking away from a divine masculine. This could be somebody that created some type of stability in your life, but it could also be a earth sign male, like a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo. But you could tell me right now, you feel very... Give me a clarification for storm warning. Right now, you feel unstable. Right now, you feel like everything that you created in your life is kind of like falling apart or is about to. Like you could feel like there's a warning going on in your system, like energetically in your vibrational energy or whatever your psychic intuition responses are, like eye twitching or like a low vibrational feeling hum in your gut, or I even feel like water energy, like waves and thunder and water energy in my chest area. You are feeling a warning when it comes to a divine masculine. You could tell me too that right now in the physical places, it feels like I got the Nine of Cups and the Six of Swords reverse, both reverse, with the Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this is definitely in regards to a relationship or a connection. You could tell me that right now you want love, and love is the main thing that's on your mind. Love is like the, a person. It could be a specific person, but it could also just be a counterpart, period. You can also tell me like right now you are literally in the spaces of like sort of kind of like how the Gemini reading was. You're more so getting into yourself. You're focusing more on your own energy. You're not so happy about a lot of like argumentative and like emotional things right now. You could tell me too that you've been doing a lot of reflection on the fact that you're not stable and where you want to be at right now, right? You could tell me like, yo, like, all this work I've done and all of the stability that I've tried to create in the past, it seems like it just consistently leaves me. Like all of the substance that I've created then is no longer sticking with me. And you can feel like you're in this, you just feel tied up. You feel spiritually and physically tied up right now. Like you don't have the ability to move forward, right? Now, for my divine feminines, you could tell me that you are so much more so focused on the inside of yourself. You feel like it's time to go within. It's time to focus on yourself. I think you realize too, like, it's not life that gets better. It's you that gets better. We got the Ten of Cups in reverse. You could tell me that you got almost everything you want except for your partner. except for the connection, right? We got the Two of Cups and the Death card reversed with the Queen of Swords on the very bottom of the deck. And the Strength. So you could tell me with the Queen of Swords also representing air sign feminines. You could tell me too that, right now you're in a place where you want things to move. Like things are really slow and stagnant right now, but it's also like a very cloudy emotional space that you're in at the moment. Like I felt anger from the storm warning card, and anger from a place of like feeling like you're about to lose some type of material substance or material stability. But if it's in relation to a man or a divine masculine that you're interested in, you could mentally be considering walking away from them because of like unstable actions from this person, right? You could tell me too that this person is like a risk taker, that they enjoy just basically doing whatever fuels them and everything like that. And you could also tell me that you feel like this masculine makes you feel as though you are not enough too, or that they haven't tried enough, that they haven't put forth like a lot of energy or effort towards the connection. So let's clarify for my divine masculines. Harmony is pure love, for love is complete agreement. You are change. My divine masculines are having a perspective change with the Hangman. They are seeing things differently. Let's see what they're seeing differently. My divine masculines are feeling like they need to move in a much more emotional way. They feel like they've been coming. Let me see. First of all, they feel like they've been keeping things on kind of like limbo, keeping things in limbo. They feel like they need to leave a third party alone and stop taking actions towards those type of connections and actually go ahead and, make things work. So my divine masculines, you could tell me that. What's the advice for the connection? The Three of Swords is here. So I think it's time to really actually dig deep enough and into traumas, into heartbreak and things like that. Well, okay, for my divine masculine, I think you are in the initial phases of, heartbreak kind of vibe. Not heartbreak, but like, I would say like an instability. Maybe you're recognizing the strings attached. Like you could tell me like based on like your past and based on what you've been through too. Like you might have fear of rejection and abandonment. So with that being said, it keeps you from being emotionally open in connections and giving that effort. So with that being said, the advice for you would be to go ahead and, revisit those things that would have been wish fulfillment that caused a lot of emotional turmoil. Go back and revisit those things and allow healing to take place with that. Because, you're right. I feel like you need somebody to tell you and agree with you like you're right. What happened to you and the way that you were betrayed and rejected and abandoned was not okay. You know what I mean? And it makes sense that you're in a space where you don't really want to be open up like that. You know what I mean? You don't want to open up, in those ways. And you could possibly tell me too that you've learned to be a bit manipulative. I heard red pilled when it comes to connections. So it's very possible that you could be dealing with that. Let's see. Give me one more for the advice and we'll close it out. Yeah, King of Wands reverse. It's like with the King of Wands reverse being in the advice position, especially with the Five of Pentacles in reverse on the bottom of the deck, it's like abandon your own will to an extent. Not, you know what I mean? Don't abandon your will. But try not to be so much of a protector of your sensitive spaces. Try your best to, like, okay, for instance, right? All right, boom. Here's a visual that's coming in my mind right now. Say you have a boat, or you have a life jacket that has propelled engines on the back of it, right? So you're able to fly through the water, and then you meet somebody in the middle of water with a life jacket on, that's not as upgraded as yours. And you want to give them a new life jacket that you have. You have an extra one. You showed them how your life jacket works and everything, right? You could tell me that, it frustrates you that that person doesn't want to let go of that lesser upgraded life jacket. But one thing you got to really truly understand is that people that have those less upgraded, you have to understand how much that lesser upgraded life jacket saved them, how much it created stability for them. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you may see ways that somebody could be different, and you may be so strong on your life jacket, but Sometimes it's nice to just turn the engine off of your life jacket and coast with that person for a moment to understand why they're so connected to the life jacket that they currently have. I hope that makes sense. I love you, Libra. Bye-bye. Hey, Aquarius. What's up? This is a general reading, just energy check-in kind of vibe, dealing with the heart chakra, right? You could tell me right now that you feel like kind of like unstable and just like over it kind of vibes when it comes to like um a certain type of stability in the material realm, right? Um your sole focus right now is probably just about your healing and happiness at this moment. And you could tell me that with that being said, you're sort of kind of ignoring some of the pain that you're feeling um to an extent, right? I think you're ignoring some of the pain you're feeling by, oh, I don't know how to describe this energy for my Aquarius energies, my Aquarius collective. But right now you could tell me that you're not afraid of losing connections. You could tell me right now that you're disconnected from the entire world. You could tell me you just in a total different dimension at this point. And you could also tell me too that you feel kind of trapped where you are because you may be like an extremely talented person, right? And you're holding back because of a fear of people being jealous of you when you become victorious, right? That's what it's kind of given. It's given that you're holding yourself back, but you're in a place where you're kind of done with that too. So let's see what's going on with that. What's the angel of love and the thinking in reverse? What's that? Yeah, right now you could tell me that it's justice for you to block somebody, basically. I don't know. You feel just in, how do I describe this energy? You're trying to determine what's next for you. You know what I mean? I feel like you're trying to determine what's next for you. The Justice, the Two of Swords. In the mental realm, yeah, you just closed off. I don't think you're considering anything other than yourself and your heart and what you want and what's going to bring you your personal healing and happiness, right? I feel like you've been through a lot of things. You could tell me you've been through the worst. You can tell me you've been through the worst. And you're taking everything as lessons. You're taking everything as lessons. There could be a divine masculine in your life right now that's an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius male that, you could be contemplating on too. Also causing you to feel a bit unstable. King of Cups, Three of Swords, Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you could tell me that right now you're in a space where you just really like, it's either that you ignore how you feel, you ignore your feelings and you go towards this person, or B, you disconnect from everything and deal with the heartache and the pain that you're facing right now. Or maybe this masculine could be also wanting to come in to help you heal too, with the Temperance being here right here. And maybe they have intentions of helping you heal, but they're just not aware 100% of how to do so for you. They don't know how to bring you to that, right? What's the envy and the victory? What's the envy and the victory? Yeah, I feel like there's some type of thing that you're working on or some way that you want to show up in the world that's going to cause a lot of enviousness. You could tell me too that you're doing it absolutely alone and that you have a lot of emotions about that you don't know how to feel about the fact that everything you're doing is on your own. You could tell me too that people may perceive you to be like fully yourself kind of vibe. People could think that about you. Yeah, so you've been abandoning yourself. You got the Five of Pentacles here with all of that. Like you've been abandoning yourself. And I think you're coming to recognize that. Just how much you really have been not just abandoning yourself, but blocking love too. You could literally tell me that you've been blocking love. So my divine feminines, right? You could tell me that right now, the thing on your mind is just how tough life has been and how we can get to a place of healing and happiness within yourself. Right now, you are not afraid to cut off any energy around you, especially energies that's not equally reciprocating the energy that you're giving. If you're giving 100%, you are not scared to cut away somebody giving 98 at this point. Like that, even if it's that close, you're at a point where you're disconnected from everything, and probably so more leaning in a negative way, not necessarily in a positive, detached kind of way. You could tell me you're like F everything, and I get it, especially because of the feeling of like no matter what you do, no matter what type of form of victory you achieve, you kind of feel like it's still going to leave you alone and outcasted and just, alone. So for my divine masculines, same thing. You could feel the very same way. You could feel like, look, life is tough, but I'm doing what I need to do. You could also tell me too that you recognize that you don't even love yourself as much as you're looking for somebody to love you. You could really tell me that, right? But you could also tell me too that you're in a space too where you're not really throwing, planting your seed everywhere. You could be like holding back. You could be more so like into yourself and really trying to give yourself that love that you want. You're trying to show up as the love that you want, right? So what's the advice here? What's the advice for Aquarius? Right, judgment. Follow your thought processes with everything because this is also a very spiritual place that you're aligned into at the moment. A lot of cycles are ending with the death card right here. Judgment is here in the Seven of Pentacles. So it's like definitely go ahead and take the time to hold back, get alone, and figure out what is the matter. You know what I mean? Get by yourself. Figure out what is the matter. What is the thing that has roots? Like, you get what I'm saying? Whenever I ask you what's the matter, like that's so much bigger than just like what's wrong. What is the matter? What have you used your fiery energy, emotional water? What did you focus your attention on that developed matter that now was a seed planted into that and has roots in that matter? What's the matter? Get to the root of that matter and other things will change. Is that right? Let's get confirmation for the advice. Yeah, the Knight of Swords, Page of Swords reverse. Definitely all mental realm stuff too. So yeah, like, you know what I mean? Without speaking, like, because you may want to say things right now. There could be a lot of things that you want to say and conversations that you want to have. But I think you're going to gain a whole different perspective if you sit with yourself and really get with them thought processes and see exactly what it's hitting for. I love you, Aquarius. Later.